Hello again, everybody. Coach B here. Welcome back to another episode of 15 Good Minutes. Charles, how you doing, man?
I am wonderfully, outstandingly excellent.
Whoa,
Whoa, a
whoa,
double dip.
whoa, whoa. LB, what's up, man?
Hey, I'm here.
Right, all right, all right. Freddie, how you doing?
He really just confused the hell out of me. But I'm good.
Because he went off script, man.
Yeah. But I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Got an interesting one today, at least for me. It's the fact that apparently ESPN now owns the NFL Network and some of the things that are associated with that. But the NFL now has a 10% ownership stake in ESPN. I I want to get your opinion, but I'm going to say for me as a fan, I never put any stock in the NFL Network. No harm, no foul. Didn't like them. I would watch them years ago when they had like a special game on a Thanksgiving. They might throw them a game in that whole 4 game rotation. I always felt like their lineup, with the exception of Rich Eisen, was people who couldn't get a job on Fox Sports, CBS Sports, NBC Sports, or ESPN. I could be wrong with that too. So from a fan's perspective, it won't impact me, but I'm curious because the amount of football that we consume collectively, is this a good thing or a bad thing for the league? And how do you view it? So let's just jump right in. Charles, I'm going to start with you, man. You got wind of this. Like Freddie, you're a fantasy football, commissioner as well. You consume a ton of football. Is this a good thing for the NFL? And if so, why? And if not, why not?
I think for the fans, it's it's probably going to be of some effect because of how the NFL is probably how the ESPN is going to bundle this thing. All right. Obviously, the NFL channel, right, was a bust. Right, it's been a bust from the beginning. Right, so and the NFL don't know how to do programming. Right, now their success story, and I think that the reason this deal went off is because they threw in the red zone, and a lot of people now, especially a lot of fantasy football people, they don't even look at they don't look at the whole game anymore. They just look at the red zone. All right, and that's how they stay interested in football and love the fantasy football part of it. Now the NFL fantasy, what a joke! That was a joke. That was a joke also too. So
ESPN got that too.
yeah, ESPN got that. So they got the
But it's
crap.
going to kill I think they're going to kill that fantasy because
They're going to kill the fantasy. They're probably eventually going to kill the NFL, right? I think that right now, and I was looking at one of the videos you're saying, which I thought is a pretty good thing, is that the NFL actually kept 4 of the 7 games that they had on, and so I think they're going to have all kind of buyers for those games. So your question, so what's the effect? The effect is that it's going to cost us a little bit more money, right? It's going to cost us more money if we want to actually see the red zone, and I don't think they're going to bundle that with Disney and Hulu. I think they're going to separate that off, right? And so now ESPN will be its own entity, right? With ESPN, ESPN Plus, ESPN 3, ESPN 9. So, so I don't know. So I think for and journalist integrity do you go to the NFL to get journalistic integrity? I don't. I do not.
Or ESPN.
Oh, ESPN, yeah. You don't. You just don't go there to get that, right? So I think it's going to be of non-effect as far as I think it's going to make a whole lot of people richer. Put it that way. That's my opinion.
fair enough. Freddie, what's your take on it, man?
I hate it. And I hate it for the simple fact is that um NFL Network, um I think the issue with NFL Network, while it was not very profitable to the NFL, was because what it's only active from July through February, right? Then, hiatus, showing old games and stuff like that, So then you factor in that cost perspective that the NFL is taking on, right? Um, so for that matter, it's a seasonal game. It's a seasonal show, for the most part, just like MLB Network, NBA TV, or whatever the case may be. It's seasonal, right? You're not really paying attention to it off season, right? As it goes to red zone. On the contrary, Charles, I actually hate red zone. I don't even watch red zone. You know why? Because I have Sunday ticket. And guess what? I will sit if my team is playing at the 1 o'clock hour. I will watch that whole game, and then the next game I want to see. At the 4 o'clock, if I'll watch that game or whatever the case may be. Hopefully, my team is either playing on you know Sunday nights or Tuesday or Mondays or Thursdays, so I can really maximize Sunday ticket.
Pretty, but you have to admit that the red zone probably was the most profitable part of that whole deal, right? People look at the red zone.
That probably was the most profitable, but I mean, from my perspective, because I don't watch it, I don't. It's pointless. Why would I want to sit and watch what's going on at 16 different screens at one time? You know,
Pretty, don't you do that with the NFL? With the NFL ticket, don't you do that with the ticket? Or you just look at one team?
I look at one
So
one
you
game.
don't bring up the panel. You don't bring up the panel and look at all the games, and then
I,
switch to one. And we
no,
switch to every game.
I
Okay.
only watch one game. And
Okay.
then once that game is over, or if
All
it
right.
goes to commercial break, I may turn to another one. I don't.
Okay.
But to me, I think the bigger issue is, NFL, it has a 10% equity stake in ESPN. What I see this being is pretty much the same model that ESPN has gotten in bed with college football. It's the same model. Journalistic integrity. I can give two hoots about journalistic integrity, right? I think it's really more so now it becomes okay with this 10% equity. Like, it's not necessarily cash directly, you're right? It's not cash, right? So what that basically says to me, I'm guessing, the NFL can tell ESPN how they want to promote this, that, so on and so forth, which is the same way how college football and ESPN are in cahoots together. Hey, this team should make it, that team should make it, this, that, like Florida State a couple years ago, but we're not going to get into that, right?
Don't bring that name up.
We're not going to get into that.
LB, I don't know, man. The business person in me says that when company A acquires company B and we got like talent, if I'm company A, I'm firing the company B folks that do the same thing. Watching some of those videos, at least aside from the NFL network, all them cats think that they're good to go and they got jobs. What do you see in that respect? And then how, if at all, do you see this whole acquisition impacting the game, either as a fan or from a business perspective?
All right, I'm gonna qualify everything I'm saying off the break. I hate the NFL. Let's get that out the way off the break. So everything I say, keep that in mind, in the back of your mind. I hate the NFL. To Freddie's point about the equity is not about, you're right, it wasn't money, it's equity. But I think that equity is for the owners. The owners of the NFL team are going to get richer because of this equity stake they have in the ESPN now. Because saw or something somewhere where there's already talk about ESPN, somebody shopping, trying to sell something. I forget how it worked out, but somehow that equity stake, it just increases the wealth of the owners of the NFL teams. To the channels, the ESPN, the NFL Network channel, golf has a channel that I believe is successful.
It is. Tennis.
MLB has one. I think so a friend of mine is a trainer for the DC Divas. I don't know if you're familiar with the DC Divas. Is a women's football league. From what I've been told, talking to her just yesterday, every NFL city has a female football team and or league, a team that plays in the league. And there's several leagues all around the country. They had the Super Bowl last week and week before last at the Canton, what's the Ohio, the Hall of Fame thing.
Yep.
The Hall of Fame. DC lost, by the way, in case you're curious. 24-6, I believe the score was. And what she was saying was, if the NFL wanted to expand its base, you've got high school now has flag football for girls. At least in Maryland they do. I'm assuming that's pretty much going nationwide now. You've got all these female leagues around the country. So now you already have a pipeline now for high school to a professional league. If the NFL wanted to expand their base, expand their viewership, and bring women into it, there's a golden opportunity right there. But, that's forward thinking, I think, on their part that they don't have. And as far as your question about the staff, the announcers on the NFL, yeah. I mean, anytime you acquire the same thing, you merge those, you streamline those, and you off. I mean, that's what what's that? I can't think of Romney. Wasn't it Nip Romney? Wasn't it one of his things how he made his money by corporations taking over one company, getting rid of all those people and doing the same thing with the staff he already had? Yeah, that's business 101. So yeah, everybody who works for the NFL network, I hope you got some money saved up or got another option because most of them are going to be out of a job. I've never watched NFL Network, so I can't say it was good or bad. Or I'm indifferent to that, but it is amazing to me that they couldn't keep it solvent with as much stuff that's on. Everybody's got a channel. There's got to be something you could put compelling on there in the off season to bring those fans back in to watch something. I know the glory days of team of the Green Bay Packers or something. I don't know, but it seems to me there should have been enough content out there to keep people at least checking in during the off season.
So LB, you brought up a good point there. But don't you think ESPN is going to probably do a way better job because they know how to do programming, they know how to do. Maybe they salvage the NFL channel and just make it part of, like I said, ESPN 9.
Yeah, 10, 100%. Right. Yeah, they're gonna
and they'll have more stuff on there. They'll put there, and to your point about the women's league, right? I mean, that's another thing they could add on there, but not the football season was the off season was their issue.
Right, but the women play now. They just had their Super Bowl, so they could have ate up. The NFL could have ate up till last week with women's football, and now you're ready for training camp for the men. So you wouldn't have lost. At least you would have had some content, just like the NBA Network. They played they showed WNBA games during this time, until training camp starts for the men, and then they go back to the men. So I mean, just saying, it's an opportunity, and it's not an expensive proposition because, I mean, really, it's not that many.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not playing in huge stadiums. They got smaller stadiums. It could be done.
It's tough though because it's one of those things that, while I agree with you, women's football, flag football, it's not the same as women's basketball, right? Because you have in high school, you have girls, women's basketball teams. You have this in college and things like that. So
just be clear, Freddie. The women's professional league is tackle. They helmet, shoulder pads. It's tackle.
Right. I get that. Okay. Right. So when you say the off season, you're competing with the MLB, you're competing with the NBA, the WNBA, you're competing with golf, you're competing with NASCAR. So,
but there's something. Right now you got nothing.
Right. It is. And just like with the NBA, NBA have put so many millions of dollars into the WNBA, right?
So, Freddie, what you're saying is that the best way to do with the NFL channel is keep the channel but rebrand it. It won't be called the NFL channel anymore, right? So
I do agree that they're probably going to rebrand it. Me personally, like on Sunday morning, people, if you watch football and preparing for fantasy and games and stuff like that. Me personally, I don't even watch ESPN. ESPN to me, it's a little too animated, right? ESPN, even though it's good, to me, it's just too animated. I thought NFL Network, to me personally, was at its highest when you had Rich Eisen, you had Warren Sapp, you had Marshall Faulk, Kurt Warner, and Michael Irvin. I thought that was when it was at its best.
I guess to your point, Freddie, it's how do you view the game? I don't watch pregame on any level for anything, anywhere, any sport. I tune into the game to watch the game. And if I am going to watch pregame, I'm going to watch the pregame of the network that's showing the game. I don't want to go to NFL Network to get your opinion to jump over to CBS Sports to watch the game. And I don't think that ESPN does a particularly good job of it at all. They got one game a week, right? When I look at the football season, CBS, NBC, and Fox will give you double headers. Somebody is going to have a double header every week. To your point, Freddie, I'm like you. I can't watch multiple screens. I pick a game, I watch it beginning to end, same way I do with baseball. But to LB's point, I just don't think they ever caught on. The tennis network is good, even when the majors aren't
Mhm.
being played. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
but that's unfair, Rusty, because tennis is 11 months out of the year.
Right.
That's the
And
same
play
thing
and
with
played
golf.
all over the
I'm not
world.
penalizing them,
Yeah,
Charles.
I'm trying to say, and just like golf, golf is 11 months out of the year, right?
Right,
So,
but I'm saying majors in tennis are a little bit different. And when there's
oh,
no majors going on, I will still tune in to watch
oh yeah,
the tennis network.
but I'm trying to say,
I don't tune into the NFL network.
yeah, but the NFL, like I said, it's such a short, it's so short, it's so short a season. They didn't do a good job of what do you do with that empty space, right?
Forget the
So,
empty space. What do you do with the space during the season? Look at your competitor.
well, that's true. That's true. That's true.
You're
That's
competing
it.
against $35 million a year Tom Brady. Who do you have NFL Network that's getting that? No one.
Nobody.
You're competing against Troy Aikman. You know what I mean? You're competing against my man that's really
So you're
good.
saying some of the talent that they had there
The
wasn't
talent, yes, because the talent to me brings the audience.
We'll bring people.
Yeah, so people want to watch. I think LB was right on the edge of saying it, but I believe that this was an acquisition to get rid of them. Just eliminate them. I don't think they want to rebrand it, rebuild it. They're going to take the best talent. They're going to let it sit for a little bit. I think their biggest intent from all this was that 10% LB
Yep.
that merger. That's where the focus is going to be.
hmm
You have a 20-something year failing network here. Do we really want to reduce that? At the same time, to Freddie's point, we got all this talent invested in the NCAA programs and that whole playoff system. As a business, I'm just acquiring them to sit them down and shut them up and get them out the way. The stuff that I read, man, said that they have been trying to sell that network, man, for like years.
hmm
And I'm talking about no takers.
Yep.
So, and then to the journalistic integrity part of it, I think it's important. I want a reporter to tell me the truth about something. I don't think you can do that if you're actually reporting on the company that owns you. And I've had this
Well,
thing.
remember, they don't own them. They only got 10% of
Well,
it.
the reason I say that,
But,
Charles, is
mhm.
Disney owns ESPN.
Well, that's true.
Mhm.
And the
That's true.
journalistic integrity went out the window when that
Well,
merger
that's true.
happened.
That's
So
true.
for
That's
me,
true.
ESPN lost it already. So I don't
Correct.
expect a change there.
Mhm.
But there were some really good, I thought, things like the 30 for 30s that would dig into some things
Right.
Yes.
that I don't think we're going to see anymore because of that. And again, now to your point, LB, at the end of the day, when we go to the big conference room table, one of them chairs is going to be some NFL executive now
Correct.
who was
Mhm.
in Connecticut in the ESPN office, and they weren't there before.
Yeah.
So again, as a fan, Charles, yeah, it doesn't impact me. And this is just what big
Right.
conglomerations
Well,
do over and over and
That's
over
what they
again.
do. It's
Well, it is going to impact you when your bill go up, when your cable bill go up.
Well, it
Mhm.
depends on if you have a package. Like to Freddie's point, I never got the message that he was talking about, like where sometimes it goes out and comes back. If you go with a main provider, and I'm saying like with me, it's Xfinity. It's bundled in there. I don't pay for ESPN separately. I am paying way too much for cable, LB. Let's get that
Yes,
straight
That's
yes,
right
true.
you
away.
are.
That's
Yes,
true.
you are.
That's my problem with Xfinity, not so much
Me
with the
too.
network.
Mhm.
But and here's the other thing too, and I'll say this, I've said it before. I'm not paying to watch an NFL game nowhere, anywhere at all. When they do that shit that they do in the playoffs where they start charging you, the NBC Peacock Network wants you to charge
Hmm.
us. I think that's foul. I grew up watching it for free,
Yep.
and I will do that until it's no longer for free, and then I
Hmm.
really won't care. So I'm paying for the network, which sort of kind of means I am paying to watch the game, but I won't do it separately,
Definitely.
if
Right.
that makes
Yeah,
sense.
it does. It does. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know, man. I just think it's a sign of the times when the big just get bigger.
Where
LB's point from the
the
business
rich
side,
get
the
richer.
rich get richer. Right.
Hmm.
Is
Exactly.
anyone really thinking about the fan, Freddie?
No, not at all.
I don't think they are.
No, no.
I
Because
don't
they
think
know
they
they
are.
have addicts. The NFL knows
Yeah.
during season it controls
It controls the
they
airwaves. It controls everything. I mean, literally, it it's bigger than I know. It's bigger than basketball, definitely. Right? It's bigger than and it's starting to take over. It digs into baseball because baseball such a long season and all the way to
Hmm.
October. Right? It's into the football season. Right? And so football is just huge. And one of the reasons it's so appealing is that it's just a short season. It's not a long season, right? And
Yeah, really?
it's 16 games. It's
From
not.
now to February, that's 6 months. That's half a
Yeah,
year.
it actually goes pretty fast. It
it
goes
It might go
does go pretty
fast, but you can't
fast.
tell me that it's a short season.
Well, I'm
It's
trying to say,
six
you know
months
what?
long, man.
Compared to baseball and basketball, they seem like they go on forever, right?
they do.
Football, football, it doesn't seem that way. It seemed like, dang, September, February already here,
But it
right?
doesn't start in September. Ask Freddie when he sent me the first message on fantasy football. Go ahead. I'll tell you when it was. It was May. So he's in
No,
football mind in
because you're looking
May.
at the draft. You're looking at the draft. I'm talking about actual football itself, right? Actual football itself starts in September.
I think pro football is the number one, obviously, pro sports thing
It
that's
is.
out there.
Mhm.
Granted, hands down.
Hands
Uh,
down.
I got no issue with that. I just wonder, for example, what I don't want to see happen is, you know how right now I think the Super Bowl rotates from network to network to
Yeah, yeah,
network.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Does ESPN get favoritism now with that?
Oh
Because
yeah, they
they
Yes.
said
do.
with
Absolutely.
Yes.
Why
They
wouldn't
better.
then if I'm
why wouldn't
CBS or
they? Look at
NBC,
this.
I got a problem with that.
And you know what? You brought up a really good point. That 10%, right, is gonna pay itself back.
Oh, first year.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. They really everybody won in this deal, I think. I think everybody won in this deal.
Except the fans.
Oh, instead of fans. Oh no, I'm not talking about
They
the
never
fans.
do.
Before we check out and see if the guys got something to say, and I gotta go to LB first because he been getting the tail end of this the last couple three shows. So LB, what you got, man?
I got some that I didn't get to last week because Freddie took all the time. And it fits in perfectly with today's conversation. So it's a good thing it got pushed out a week. So last week before last, I was in North Carolina. We was in the hotel. She picks up the TV remote and she starts clicking through. She came up upon ESPN 8. I don't know if you all have seen this channel.
I'm not.
ESPN 8. If you haven't seen it, don't look for it. Don't waste your time. But I'm going to tell you the kind of crap that is on ESPN. Pillow fighting. Pillow fighting. Yes, that is a sport. A professional sport. It's called pillow fighting. You got big dudes swinging around a bag that look like a pillow, banging each other side the head and getting points. They had something called a donkey toss. I don't know what the name of it is, but it's an inflatable donkey. You stand behind the line and you flick it and you try and get it to land on a mat with it
Like
standing
cornhole?
straight up. I don't know what it's called. I'm just telling you
Are
what
these
it's called.
American channels?
This, huh?
Are these in American channels?
Yes. I was in North Carolina.
No. Meaning the people participating. Are
Yes,
they?
English-speaking Americans. English-speaking
Oh,
Americans. I'm sure y'all have all already seen cornhole. That's a sport now. Dodgeball. They showing that on ESPN 8. They showing y'all seen the tag. I'm sure everybody's seen tag. We played in the schoolyard. Now that's a sport. Two more things. Pop darts. I don't even know what that is. And then they had this thing called slippery stairs. There's the stairs that people have to run up, but the stairs will like change configuration and get slippery and people fall down.
Not like a game show, man.
Yes, but
Oh,
this is but this is the kind of content that ESPN is putting out. What are they gonna do? Maybe they'll
ESPN 9, according to
That's
Charles.
what I'm saying.
Right.
So the NFL Network, if they get it, well, they got it now. What can they put on it that's of substance?
Nothing.
Because the crap they got out there now is crap. I would like to use another word, but it's a family show.
It is.
It's crap, man. So it honestly, it just dumbfounded me the whole time. We flicking the channel. I'm like, I can't believe, one, that people are doing this, and two, that it's on TV.
Yeah, with a major network like ESPN at that.
Yeah, come on, man. Dismiss me with that nonsense.
Maybe they can put on soft porn. I don't know.
We don't need soft porn. We got hard porn. Who wants soft when you can get hard?
Pillow fighting. Wow.
Charles, what you got to say today, buddy?
I got nothing, right? Just happy to be alive.
Fair enough. Freddie, how about you, man? You got something to say today?
LB just blew me away with that. The game is at an all-time low. I mean, you got pillow fighting, but
ESPN 8.
this is nothing, and I'm gonna keep it short. This has nothing to do with me because I don't live there anymore. DC, I understand, get your ass in the house. That's it. I mean, that's it. That's all I got for you.
It's a bad beat.
Can I add one thing to Freddie real quick? I'm going to the baseball game on Thursday. And my friend and I, Carol and I, were just talking about the game. And I told her, I said, if I start down to the game and they got stuff blocked off with any kind of checks or anything, I'm making a U-turn. I'm going home. She's like, no. I'm like, I am not feeding into none of that BS. Not doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where's your papers?
Right. Nah, man, I'm going home. Hell with y'all. You keep everything in that city.
Fair enough. I agree with that. That's a bad beat. We'll have to keep an eye on it. But that's what we got. If anybody in the audience has any views other than what you heard here about the ESPN acquisition, let me know. If there are people out there like Charles who can watch 20 games at a time, why? I mean, I'm just curious. Just why? He and I have this conversation many times. So I'm curious to see if there's somebody other than that, or if he is the odd man out in that case. But with that, hope everybody's enjoying themselves. Thanks always for rocking with the show. We hope you guys have a great weekend. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.